Yep. Yo, happy Friday to everyone. Hope everyone had a lovely Thursday. Obviously, we have some NBA finals on tonight, but it's Friday, which means we have an ass load of baseball games to go through. Why can't I click on? It's weird. Well, let me click on AJ's thing here. It's whatever. So yeah, 15 MLB games to go through. So that's a lot of content. So let's get started. First one up, Texas at Tampa. The pick I gave out last night was Rays first 5 run line, and I'm still on that. But there's so much value on the board. This probably wouldn't even make my top 7 or 8 bets today. But I'm definitely still on it. It's all the way up to -120. So the line movement supports the angle. Let me pull out my notes real quick. All right, so obviously everyone knows the Rangers bats are red hot. That's not really a secret. I mean, Texas overall might be one of the hottest team in baseball. But there's definitely a production drop-off when you look at the Rangers numbers on the road versus at home. It's actually similar to Tampa. To be honest, this matchup right now probably would be backing whoever's home, because both these teams have just been elite in their home ballparks. Andrew Heaney is starting, and my favorite angle in this one is the Rays bats to get to Heaney. I think his numbers are a bit of a mirage. His 4 road starts, he's been excellent, like out of this world. Hold on, I have him written down. His 4 road starts, 1.82 ERA, a 167 OBA. He's been a monster on the road, but if you look at who he pitched against at Baltimore, a team that was crushing lefties last year, certainly not crushing lefties this year. At Oakland, you already know. At Seattle, team sucks. And at Houston, a lineup that is just much more scary against righties. The Astros lineup isn't known for being dangerous against lefties, so I'm not that impressed by Andrew Heaney's numbers through those 4 road starts. This is his first real test, and I think Tampa's going to smack him around. Do I have a ton of faith in Glasnow? Not really, but I think Tampa might score 4 or 5 off Heaney here, so I think as long as Glasnow is okay, this should cash.
Yeah, I'm just going to run back what I keep running back is every time a lefty faces the Rays. Give me the Rays first 5 team total over 2.5 at +105 on Barstool. As you were saying, just not really impressed with Heaney's recent competition. Yeah, he had a 3-game stretch of allowing 3 total runs against Oakland, Colorado, and Baltimore. But Baltimore's been a bottom 10 lineup against lefties over the last 30 days and at home. Colorado's been 30th, and the Oakland bats started off hot against lefties, but have cooled down majorly over the last month or so. So not really impressed with that. His last start, he looked incredibly vulnerable against a Mariners team that can't even hit left-handed pitching. Only 3 innings, 6 hits allowed, 4 walks, and 3 runs. So very concerning. Maybe we see a crack in the armor from him. Rays have simply been smashing lefties all season. So the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last 8 of 9 left-handed pitchers to face the Rays have allowed them over this total, and 5 straight have done so at Tampa with 4+ runs through the first 5 in each. So, I mean, Heaney, you look good right now, but I'm selling high on your ass. Give me the Rays through that first 5 with that nice team total at +money.
Yeah, I'm just not there. I'm just not there at all. I got Texas Rangers money line at +145. This is just a pure play on the number for me. You're getting a Rangers team that's absolutely red hot right now, a 127 WRC plus as a team. And the Rays a 97 WRC plus as a team in that same pan the last couple of weeks. Add on the fact that the Rays aren't really scoring that many runs. I mean, they were winning against the Twins, but they weren't scoring a whole bunch of runs here. The Tampa bullpen is absolutely taxed. I mean, all of those guys, and they're not even pitching that well. So it's just a play on the number for me. I'm not going to get Texas on the money line at this price very many times, so I'm going to take it. I also think that Glasnow is just a little bit overrated at this price.
To Toast's point, the reason I'm sticking to the first 5, Tampa has no Jason Adam, no Colin Pache. So Tampa's actually missing their 2 main Pache. Tampa's actually missing their 2 main bullpen arms. So there's the reason I'm only touching the first 5, because I could 100% see Texas getting to the Rays bullpen and winning. So I'm not even against his bet. Next game. Arizona at Detroit, and I'm gonna let Proppy give you the rundown of this one because he likes this bet a lot more than I do. I do like it, and I agree with his reasoning. I just don't absolutely love it. I don't. Whatever. I'll let him talk.
Yeah, I mean, not much to that love here. First 5 under 4.5 at -130. Happy to lay that juice. Merrill Kelly's been utterly dominant on the road thus far. He's posting a 4-0 record, 1.63 ERA, 250 WOBA. Now set to face the Tigers lineup that truly looks dreadful as of lately. The last 30 days, they're 29th in WRC plus, 30th in ISO against right-handed pitching. And the fact that the Tigers' bats are 5 or 30 off Kelly with a 433 OPS through 30 plus at bats. I think Kelly continues to dominate on the road here. On the other side, we got Michael Lorenzen, and the dude looks amazing right now. Over his last 6 starts, he's got a 1.83 ERA, 212 WOBA, 0.76 WHIP. The command is there. Competition, not much to brag about. Not gonna lie, he hasn't faced anybody too tough. But now he's finding himself in a spot at home against the Diamondbacks lineup that regularly starts 6 lefties. How has he done against lefties over his last 3 home starts? Well, he's got a 177 WOBA, 0.71 WHIP, and a 266 FIP. The guy's dominated in that spot. Arizona is just 17th in WRC plus and ISO against righties over the last 2 weeks. And really, I think this is just as long as Michael Lorenzen doesn't get shelled, I think we're in the clear here. So, like the value at the number.
Yeah, I'm on the exact same play. It seems a little bit too obvious for me. That's why I don't love it as much, but I did make the bet. Add in our friends over at Ballpark Pal have a 27% decrease in home runs, so you're probably not going to see a whole bunch of long balls here. Yeah, Lorenzen's been a bit bet on pitcher for me too. So as long as those red hot bats of the Snakes on the road just don't completely kill us, we should be all right here.
I actually used Arizona money line at -140 as a parlay piece. I do like the D-backs to win the game. I'm not going to give it out as an individual bet at that price. It's a little much, especially because I like Lorenzen. So just the whole game's got me hesitant. There's just much more value elsewhere. Next game, Mets at Pirates, and I kind of backed off my bet on this one. I feel like we got priced out. I do think the Pirates win the game, but so I'm going to put Pirates or pass because that's really how I feel here. Last night when we made the YouTube video at +115, I loved it. Pirates are -118 now. This is getting a little crazy. At some point we have to take a step back and look at like, whoa, what are we doing here? We're betting the Pirates at -120 favorites against the Mets with Rich Hill on the mound because Pete Alonso's out. This just feels a little crazy. Yeah, the Mets lost 6 in a row. They lost to arguably the 2 hottest teams in baseball, Toronto and Atlanta. Both are sizzling hot. I put Pirates or pass on the screen. I'm not saying the Mets are going to win. I'm just saying, would I be completely shocked if the Mets won here? No. Beaver loves the Pirates here, so I'll let him go. But I think I like the Pirates a lot at +115. At -118, not so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're overthinking it. Definitely like the Pirates here. Tyler McGill on the road is a trash bin. He's got a 6.08 ERA, 4.04 WOBA, 2.03 WHIP. I mean, that's just fucking pathetic. And I know he faced some tough competition against the Dodgers, Giants, and Rockies, but there's simply no excuse for how bad those numbers are. Now he's going to face the Pirates lineup that, while I guess underwhelmed against starters, they're still second in WRC+, first in ISO, and first in WOBA against righties over the last 2 weeks. Yes, they've been doing much of their damage against bullpens, but did you see how the usage was of the Mets bullpen was last night? Those guys are absolutely gassed. And I think with the team remaining at home with a day off, coming off a lost series to Oakland, trash ass to Oakland, I think these bats look to start off hot. On the other side is Rich Hill, and I know the rule. Don't back Rich Hill at home, but I'm going to do so. He just dealt against the Cardinals in his last home start. Cardinals, I know, aren't the Cardinals of last year against lefties, but they're still respectable against lefties this year. And I think he could do just enough here because he's going to face a Mets lineup that's worse against lefties, bottom 10 in nearly every single category against lefties on the season. And against Hill lifetime, they're batting 205 with a 595 OPS. So that's not impressive to me. Pirates bullpen has their 4 best arms fully rested with 2+ days of rest: Bednar, Holderman, Ramirez, and Hernandez. So yeah, I like the Pirates. There's a reason they're pricing it like this. So give me the pit.
Did you say give me the pit?
Give me the pit, baby.
Give me the pit.
All right. I don't have a side on either one of these things. I do have a hit parlay for everybody. Brandon Nimmo, Tommy Pham, both to record a hit at plus 115. Both of these guys really do well against left-handed pitching. Tommy Pham's actually probably one of the hottest hitters on the planet nobody's talking about right now, but that's the only play I got for this game.
I don't know if Prop Beaver ended up mentioning it, but it's in his notes, but I didn't hear him say it. The angle that I do like for Pittsburgh is the Mets coming off that. Not only are the Mets bullpen, the Pirates bullpen is completely rested, and the Mets bullpen is pretty gassed coming off that series against the Braves, division rivalry. Not to mention, last night went to extra innings. Their bullpen is taxed. So the second half of the game, if you want to make an argument that Pittsburgh has the edge, definitely listening. But in the beginning, I don't care what Tyler McGill's numbers are on the road. It's Rich Hill. So I think it's a little bit of a coin flip in the beginning. So like I said, Pirates are pass.
I don't really care what Rich Hill's numbers are at home. It's Tyler McGill on the road.
Yeah, it's still Rich Hill is like.
I think it's rather gonna. It's the question is, do the Mets show up or not? Are the Mets completely gassed? Because I think it's gonna go one or two ways. The Mets are gonna win 10-1, or they're gonna get their asses kicked. Like I don't think it's gonna be like this back and forth game. I think the Mets are gonna show up or they're not, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right, let's head into the next one. Oh my God, Dodgers! Good Lord, Dodgers! Give me Dodgers money line and Dodgers minus 1.5. I watched the Phillies. That was last night, right? The Phillies Tigers. Oh my God, bro! This team belongs. They should take the entire Phillies franchise and send it down to Double-A, because that was. I could not believe I had Phillies minus 1.5. They ended up winning 3-2, so I lost. But they didn't even deserve to win the game. This lineup is so bad, and the numbers reflect it. So I have some Phillies numbers here. Hold on. Where the hell are my Phillies offensive numbers? They're hilarious. I didn't write them down. I just wrote down. I have them written down in the graphic and the other thing. But they're basically bottom 6 or 7 in every single offensive category against right-handed pitching. So even if you're a little hesitant on Michael Grove, which, hey, I can understand it. He hasn't really proved anything. So even if you're a little hesitant on this guy, what about the Phillies lineup even scares you, man? And then on the other side, Ranger Suarez, okay, seems to be getting his shit together a little bit, coming off a couple nice starts in a row. The Dodgers bats against lefties, those numbers are nuts. In the last 30 days, they have a team OPS over 1,000. They're first in every single power metric against lefties in the last 30 days. Team's annihilating left-handed pitching. Dodgers all the way.
Yeah, you pretty much said it. This could be the most public play on the board, and I'm still on the Dodgers. Ranger Suarez at home is already a fade for me, and then add in the fact that these bats, to put it candidly, they're fucking pathetic. They're really pathetic. These bats are terrible. So I think Michael Grove could actually have a decent outing here. I would not be shocked if Michael Grove went 6 innings of 1-run baseball. That is how bad this lineup is at the current moment. So, yeah, Dodgers.
Toast, don't you dare say the Phillies.
Yeah, No. Same boat. Went about it a little bit differently. I think Dodgers team total over 4.5 at minus 120 screams crazy good value. Add on everything that you said. Add on the fact that Kimbrel's going to be down today. Alvarado's on the IL, and then Sir Anthony Dominguez has worked 3 of the last 4 days, so I have a hard time believing he's going to pitch today. So that's 3 of the top arms in the Phillies bullpen not being able to go today. I pray to God they bring in Soto and Strahm for those guys against the Dodgers. And then just really quickly, a couple of Dodgers have really good numbers. Freddie Freeman's a $1 OPS against left-handed pitching this year. So any hit parlays you want to get him in, I got him at Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases at plus 110. And then Mookie Betts in his career against Ranger Suarez, 3 for 6 with a double, 2 dingers, a 1.667 OPS. I got Mookie Betts down for over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus 135. So yeah, playing a little bit of with fire here today, but I think the Dodgers bats go crazy. Yeah, Mookie Betts' total bases at 1.5 minus 105 is cool too.
Toast. I was just about to say the same thing. I'm posting that after the show. I'm all over the Mookie Betts total bases play today. Dude has pimped out Ranger Suarez, and he may be worse on the road, but isolate that since May, and he's crushing lefties even on the road. Love the play.
Yeah, it's not. It's Victor Gonzalez, not Michael Grove anymore. It was Michael Grove last night.
You also don't see a ton of 2.5 hits, runs, and RBI. I mean, you do sometimes, but like that are realistic. Like I hit one the other day with Luis Ariz. I mean, Mookie could get 2 hits and score a run, and there it is, like that. Like it's really not even that crazy. So
yeah, I just looked it up. Grove is pitching, but what it is they're doing the opener thing.
Oh, that's why. I was gonna say, why is one say? Okay, so they're doing the opener. So Michael Grove is the primary pitcher, and Victor Gonzalez is gonna pitch the first or second. Changes nothing. And
it doesn't matter. Everybody for the Dodgers is rested anyway.
Yeah,
in their bullpen,
and we're still talking about the same Phillies lineup. Can't escape it. So let's move on to the next game.
Just really quickly, don't let the small price on the Dodgers scare you away. Make sure you sprinkle that 1.5.
Yep. Next game. Casey at Baltimore, and last night on YouTube I gave out first 5 under, and I still like that, but actually I like the Royals at the big plus money here. I think I was at plus 150. Casey moneyline
plus 165 on Bet365. That's what we got on the ticket.
Plus 165. Ooh. Love it. So, yeah, I'm taking a shot with Kansas City, and a lot of it rides on the back of Daniel Lynch. So, I guess we should start off by saying Daniel Lynch, it was pretty bad in his 2 starts against Baltimore last year. 0-2 with a 6.00 ERA, 188 whip. No denying that. That being said, the Baltimore lineup from last year does not exist this year. Last year, the Orioles were so dangerous against left-handed pitching. That's not the case this year. Baltimore's numbers against lefties are surprisingly bad. I'm talking bottom 6, 7 in MLB. I mean, this is not the same team. Look at this. These are the Orioles numbers at home against left-handed pitching this season. 24th in WRC+, 23rd in WOBA. I mean, no, this is not the same team. They don't crush lefties like that anymore. And on top of that, Daniel Lynch has been better than his numbers indicate this season. He had a great start against a Nats team that was hitting lefties very well at the time. Went 5 1/3 innings, 2 runs. That's a solid start. And in his next start, he gave up 5 runs to the Rockies in the first inning. 5 runs in the first inning. But they stuck with them. And also, they had 2 bloop singles. Not that every pitcher gets unlucky at times, so I'm not saying he's the only pitcher to give up bloop singles. But I feel like it's worth mentioning. And then they stuck with him, kept him in the game. After giving up 5 runs in the first inning to the Rockies, he went 4 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and struck out 6. So even after he got hit, he stayed in, kept his cool. I think Lynch pitches a good game in Baltimore. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but I think that's what the numbers indicate. And then on the other side, Tyler Wells, and that's why I'm on the first 5 under, because I also do like Tyler Wells. But the Royals have some nice-looking numbers. In the last 2 weeks, they're 10th in WRC+ versus right-handed pitching. Now, to be fair, most of that damage has come against opposing bullpens, not really against righty starters. Just full disclosure, if you look up righty starters against the Royals, they still have some good-looking numbers despite them being 10th against right-handed pitching. But at this price, a plus 165 in a game that I think is pretty close to a coin flip. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I like both the first 5 under 4.5 and the Royals money line. Pretty much as you said, this entire bet predicates on Daniel Lynch having success. So it definitely is risky, but with the price we're getting, I'm willing to do so. As you were saying, yeah, I'm impressed with the first 2 starts. He gave up the 5 runs to the Rockies, but the way he bounced back showed a lot of mental fortitude. Obviously, and that's a tough spot, honestly. He faced the Nationals at home, a team that doesn't strike out. He struck out 6 of them and only allowed 2 runs through 5 1/3. So I'm very impressed with that. And then he struck the shit out of the Rockies. They were whiffing at every single pitch in sight. I know Baltimore wasn't good against lefties, as you said, last year, but they're just not that team this year. And another thing is I don't really like backing the Baltimore Orioles at home. Obviously, their price is a bit more expensive because they're a home team. And the matter of the fact is that those bats are not nearly potent at home as they are on the road. They're averaging 1.5 less runs per game at home compared to on the road. And then Daniel Lynch, while he's pretty much sucked throughout his MLB career, he is a bit better on the road. And I feel like we're just going to get a bunch of people who look at this blindly and are taking the Orioles minus 1.5. But the Royals keep this a lot closer than we think. Both bullpens stink right now. And another thing I like is that some of the high leverage arms for the Royals are lefties. So even after Lynch leaves the game, the Orioles are just going to see more lefties, a split they've been worse against as of late. And let's not act like Tyler Wells in his last 2 starts against the Royals didn't post a 5.25 ERA and a 2.25 home runs allowed per 9. So I'm doing it. We're either going to look like geniuses or morons, but I'm doing it.
How crazy is it that if you told me before the season started, we'd be taking a shaky lefty on the road in Baltimore, and one of the strengths is they have good lefty bullpen arms to bring in. That's crazy. It's just like not what we expected at all from the Orioles.
Not at all. Yeah. I leaned. I was the same way. I looked at it. I kind of leaned Orioles, and then there was no way I could do it. So I ended up doing a hit parlay. I did Adley Rutschman and Bobby Witt Jr. both to record a hit at plus 105. Adley Rutschman, really good numbers again. Well, he's only faced him 3 times, but he's got 2 hits and then a double on top of that for a 166 OPS, a 666 average. But it's 3 plate appearances. And then Bobby Witt Jr. Doesn't have a very well profile against lefties, but he's actually one of the most unlucky hitters over the last couple of weeks. He's got a 399 expected WOBA, but his actual WOBA is only a 222. So I just think he's got a little bit of luck running his way. So I'm going to play the 2 young guns together in a hit parlay.
Cool. And to respond to the comment, I say all the time, if it's a game I'm not actually going to bet, I usually come out and say I probably won't even bet this game. Anyone who watches this show knows I say that all the time. I am betting this game. If it's a game where I'm just giving a pick and I'm not going to bet, I promise I will tell you. I wouldn't give out a pick and then secretly not bet it. I have to sleep at night. I'm not like that.
The Baltimore heads are coming for our necks right now, but watch out for those KC bats.
Let me tell you guys something. I was on Bird Gang yesterday, and that was real lucky. So enjoy that.
I mean, the Orioles fans are nothing to me compared to Toronto fans. I'm kind of terrified of the Toronto Blue Jays fans. When I'm making the video at night, I'm like, maybe I should pick the Blue Jays just so my view count goes up. Like, those guys, like, great pick, Sauce, yeah! Some psychopaths in Toronto.
You need to start. Yeah, you just need to start posting like all Jays stuff.
Yeah,
like, I got on the Jays game. Just one video for just the Jays.
You guys are gonna see me like 5 nights a week, like decked out in Jays gear. Just watching the subscriber count go up. All right, let's go to the next game. Boston at New York. Love the under here. Gave it out on YouTube. Love the line movement this morning. Sticking with it. I know it sounds crazy to take an under in a Yankees-Red Sox game on Friday night, because the history of this series is that even when the lineups are struggling, there's just fireworks in this, especially on Friday night. But there's just too much pointing towards an under for me. Sorry. So, as you saw last night, the Yankees numbers without Aaron Judge is just crazy. I mean, they go from a top 10 lineup to basically a bottom 3 or 4 lineup when you take Aaron Judge out of the lineup. So do I trust Garrett Whitlock? No, but I don't trust the Yankees bats at all. And then on the other side, Garrett Cole, definitely has fallen off a little bit. And when I say fallen off, he's pitching average to above average now. Beginning of the season, he was arguably the best pitcher in baseball. So do I trust Garrett Cole? Yeah, I still trust the shit out of him. Certainly trust him in this spot against the Boston Red Sox lineup that is, I believe the term I used the other day was gone south for the winter. I think first 5 under also works for me. But then the reason I'm sticking to the full game instead of the first 5, look at the bullpen numbers from these teams. The Yankees bullpen, top 5 in every major category. The Yankees bullpen has been excellent recently. And then the Boston Red Sox bullpen, who has struggled for a lot of the season, they're looking at top 11, 12 in most categories. So both bullpens pitching very well. Love Garrett Cole against the Red Sox, and I don't trust the Yankees lineup. Add all of that together, and it points towards an under.
Yeah, I'm just going to co-sign that. He had pretty amazing reasoning for doing so. And then when I checked the action today, it seems the Sharps are hammering the over in this game, and the books could not care less. They're just hanging that line. I believe that moved to minus 110, Kyle. Wow. Yeah.
So the total last night was at plus 100. So the total moved towards the under despite everyone betting the over. Gotta like that.
Yeah, so just because of that, purely, I find with the totals, when you're just fading the public, you seem to have a pretty decent success rate. So I'm willing to do so today. Only other lean I would have is I would take Boston at the plus price because Yanks without Judge are just overvalued. I understand Garrett Cole's a beast, but Kyle brought up in the video last night his recent home starts, not nearly as potent. We've seen those Boston bats get to Garrett Cole in the past. So at the plus price, that's definitely where I would lean from a money line.
Boston money line plus 130. I don't know what it's at now. I just bet it not too long ago, so it can't be much farther from that. Look, Cole's been really dog shit at home, so I do expect him to be a little bit better, or I would assume that. But then at the same time, the Boston bats just seem to get right against Garrett Cole. I mean, these are decent amount of at bats too. These guys just really have good numbers against Garrett Cole. Rafael Devers, 1.197 OPS. Kiki Hernandez, 1.25 OPS. Justin Turner, 1.07 OPS. Alex Verdugo, 862 OPS. Add on the fact that Cole is a strikeout guy, and Boston's bottom 5 in strikeout rate at like 26 or 20%. So Cole's going to have to work to get outs tonight. The Yankees played a doubleheader last night. Some of their bigger bullpen arms are already used and probably not available tonight. Give me Boston.
Yeah, the Red Sox started practicing plate discipline again. The last 5 or 6 righties to face them have gone under their total. And not only that, but they're pretty much flying under their pay total. I was looking at the Cole under today. Don't know if I'm going to get there, but yeah, I agree with your point. It's a great point. If he's not generating those whiffs, I think they could create some contact and get on big.
If I had to pick a side, I would lean Boston also. But when I was writing this stuff up, when I was writing it up, I was like, I can 100% see a 2-1 Yankees win here. And me watching the whole game throwing shit, being like, why did I just take the fucking under? So let's move on to this.
That's the worst, too.
Twins at Blue Jays. I don't care. I know it's a bit square. Give me Toronto because I've always respected the city and the fan.
Really quickly, seriously, how public is it? I can't see the little chart
it's really not public. It's more like the line movement sucks.
Okay.
Actually, the action's kind of leaning towards Minnesota, but this line opened at Toronto minus 150, and it's down to like, I think I saw it like minus 122. So it's moved significantly towards consensus lines at minus 125. So it's moved 25 cents since it opened, which I don't love, especially since the Blue Jays are hot. They keep winning games. Why would it move that way? I just don't like that. But my reasoning for back in Toronto here are pretty obvious. I mean, Sonny Gray is another starter who production has fallen off since the beginning of the season. If you look at his last 4 starts in comparison with his first 7 or 8, significant drop off in production. Yeah, he did pitch at Dodgers, against the Giants, at Astros. I mean, he definitely had a tough stretch of schedule, which would probably explain the drop off in production. But it's not getting easier tonight. He's in Toronto facing the Blue Jays, and the Toronto's smacking the shit out of right-handed pitching. In the last 30 days, so this isn't even a small sample size, in the last 30 days, Toronto, 3rd in average, 2nd in OPS, 3rd in slugging percentage, 2nd in WRC+. One of the hottest lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching. So yeah, Sonny Gray's been struggling a little bit, been a little bit vulnerable. I expect that to continue tonight. Now, Kikuchi's another guy whose production has dipped off a little bit. And I'm a little worried that the Minnesota Bats actually have great career numbers against Kikuchi. That's the only thing that's keeping this from being a top bet. It was almost a top bet. But Minnesota has like a 995 team OPS career against Kikuchi. They've gotten to this guy. But other than that, what about the Twins lineup do you like right now? I mean, they've scored 7 runs combined in their last 6 games. This lineup has disappeared without Buxton in it. They're batting 191 as a team in the last week. And even if you're not a small sample size guy, even if you're like, yo, I don't care about the last 6 games, show me the last month. Okay, if we look at their numbers against lefties in the last month, 21st in slugging, 18th in OPS, I mean, certainly doesn't inspire much hope. I like the spot for the Kikuchi, just a little worried about the career numbers. But overall, I'm riding the red hot Blue Jays, because I'm a supporter of the city and the people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep it as simple as I did yesterday. The Blue Jays have a horseshoe up their ass, as Toe said about the Pirates earlier in the season, and I'm going to keep betting them. They've now won 9 straight games that Alek Manoah didn't start. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. And honestly, they're not really producing all that many runs. I don't understand their ranks against righties right now. I really don't. Look at these recent scores: 3-3, 5-4, 6-2, 3-3-2. Like, I I don't understand the rank, but whatever. Point is, the team keeps winning. Sonny Gray's looking more vulnerable. He's always been more vulnerable on the road. Kikuchi stinks, but he went into New York and kind of pitched a nice start. I could see him replicating that today. I mean, the Twins' bats are just next level putrid right now. So I think it's a cheap price to back a Toronto team that just keeps winning games. So going to continue to do so.
Yeah, I couldn't get to a side here. I was trying to find like a decent hit parlay or something, but a lot of the prices are pretty bad. There's a few guys that have decent numbers, like Joey, like for instance, like you were talking about the Twins numbers against Kikuchi. That's very true. But like Joey Gallo has a 1.42 or 1.4 OPS, but he's not even playing. So some of those guys in and out, it just depends on how it is. One guy that has good numbers is Kyle Garlick. He's batting cleanup, I think, for the Twins. So he might be a guy to look at as a hit parlay to pair with like Bo, or Matt Chapman has good numbers off of Sonny Gray as well. But I don't have a play in the game. I skipped it.
All right, cool. Move on to the next one.
Because Romano. Oh, that's my last thing is Romano. Blue Jays don't have Romano.
Yeah,
that was the only thing.
No Romano for Toronto. Okay. Yep.
Here's the thing, though. I think they could put a small infit out there, and he could get through the side against the Twins' bats in the current form.
Yeah,
probably.
All right.
Not to mention, there's 7 people on the Action Network on the Twins, so that's like a fade city.
Oh yeah, beautiful, sensational.
Houston at Cleveland. Still on Cleveland here.
Really?
Crazy.
Hell yeah.
Crazy line movement, though. This one last night.
One of my favorite plays.
I actually saw it at minus 112. Yeah.
You got a minus 103, Papa.
Minus 103. So if you line shop, so when we post the tickets, we line shop. So this is the best line you could find. Most likely, whatever book you're using, it's probably in the minus 108, 110 range. So last night when I posted this was Cleveland plus 115. Which just gives you an idea. I mean, this line has moved 25 cents on a lot of books. So it looks like they agree with our angle here. A couple reasons. This is not a fade of Christian Javier. I think Javier is a beast. This is more, I don't think teams can score runs on Cleveland. I don't trust Houston's lineup against lefties as much as I do against righties. And there's no, the hell's that dude's name?
Oh, it's not like it's one of the best players in baseball.
I forgot his name. Shut the hell up. Mute your mic. So there's no Alvarez in the lineup for Houston either. If you look at, I had a graphic on YouTube last night that showed Houston's numbers in the last 30 days versus righties and lefties. Against righties, one of the most dangerous lineups in baseball. Against lefties, significant drop off. They're about middle of the pack against lefties. So I like the spot for Logan Allen. He's having a good year. Obviously, Houston's never seen him before because he's a rookie, so how the hell could they have seen him? I think Logan Allen can pitch a good game. I also, once we get past the 5th inning, Guardians have a huge bullpen advantage as well. Just on the defensive side of this, sure, if you want to argue that Houston has the advantage offensively, I'll listen, but without Alvarez against a lefty, I don't think it's that much of an advantage. And then on the other side, if you want to talk defense and pitching, it's such a huge advantage to Cleveland. Nobody scores runs on Cleveland. How do you think they're 2 or 3 games out of first place with one of the worst lineups in baseball this year? Because no one scores on them. So I would also lean
that
under.
They play in the Central.
What's up?
That and they play in the Central.
That and they play in the trashville of Major League Baseball. I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Buena made a great point, too. They're leaving Toronto. Not exactly a spot that we like to back teams coming off a 4-game series at Toronto. Now they immediately have to fly to Cleveland. So bats are not in the best spot. And, I mean, the bats are just not in the best spot in general for the Astros right now. Let's look at their last 5 games. 2, 2, 1, 11. So, I mean, Alek Manoah. That's all I got to say for you. And then 1 run. So in their last 4 games against a guy not named Alek Manoah, the trash bin himself, they have 2, 2, 1, and 1 runs. And then on top of that, in the 6 games without Alvarez this season, they're 3-3, and they're scored 3, 7, 3, 5, 1, and 1 runs. So if the offense isn't producing, well, then I think Cleveland has the edge here. The bats are looking a lot more lively than they were early in the season. The bullpen advantage is evident. And I'm not the biggest Logan Allen guy. Some of his expected numbers expect some negative regression, but like we did with Chase Anderson yesterday, I'm going to trust his luck to continue here. And at the short line with the spot, they get to stay at home. I like the Guards.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, obviously, we didn't look at each other's notes, but as far as like looking at the runs for Houston and stuff, I had the exact same thing written down. This team is not scoring runs unless they're facing a guy named Alek Manoah. And to Beaver's point about the expected numbers for Logan Allen, it's very true. But at the same time, most of these Cleveland pitchers just seem to be able to work around that stuff. It just seems to be like they outperform all their expected numbers. But yeah, for me, it's kind of like the same way. The same thing as those guys said it. It's Cleveland playing well at home, probably one of the hotter teams that no one's talking about right now, winning 4 of their last 5 with every single arm that they want and rested and ready in that bullpen. The Astros do hit lefties pretty well, but when you take out their best their best hitter against a left-handed pitching, that skews the numbers a lot. So I think it's a really nice short price for a Cleveland team at home.
James, you're right. I can't go a stream without mentioning Manoah. It's true. All right, I'm addicted.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Manoah.
I mean, it was a big point to be made, though.
Yeah, 9 in a row, that games that he hasn't pitched. I hear it. I mean, the Toronto, just such a proud city and a proud people up there. Let's move on to the next game. Washington and Atlanta, and I'm on the Braves any way you want to bet them. Or do you want to add them to a parlay? Toast is so square trying to take the Nats here. Atlanta minus 1.5. That's what I'm doing. Atlanta minus 1.5 plus 105. See, what Toast's problem is he doesn't know anything about minor league ball. And and this kid, Juju Smith-Solver, yo, this dude has the craziest numbers in minor league baseball. Toast, I'll send you the link where you can look at these numbers. They're really cool.
I know who he is.
So he's faced in the minor leagues this year 51 lefties. They're just 6 of 51 in those at bats. He struck out 22 of them, so almost half of them. He walked 0. This dude dominates lefty bats, and the Nats lineup regularly starts 6 of them. This kid's about to take the lead by storm. Well, he's about to take this game by storm. How about that? I think he pitches a great game. Josiah Gray, I also trust. I like him, but he did get rocked in his last start against Atlanta. Braves lineup has exploded. It's back. One of the hottest lineups in baseball. Bullpen, also back. One of the hottest bullpens in baseball. Toast is about to take a hard L on this game.
Yeah, I mean, at first glance, it's like rookie, Josiah Gray on the road, plus money. How the hell am I not taking the Nats? But then when I dug into the minor league stats for Shulver, I mean, this dude's just absolutely ridiculous. I know that the minor leagues don't always translate. I mean, we saw Bryce Miller earlier in the season suck in Double-A, come up to the majors and dominate his first 5 starts. Smith Shulver, for all I know, could get absolutely rocked today. But, I mean, with the data I have, with the fact that these Nats bats are not impressing me lately, I'm going to take the Nats team total under 4.5 at minus 121 on Barstool. They've gone on this total the last 6 and 9 games overall, averaging 4, and their last 7 to 9 road games, averaging 4.2. The reason I specifically am mentioning those road games is because to start the year, the Nats bats on the roads were wagons. They were scoring about 1.2 more runs on the road than they were at home. But recently, they actually have a worse hit rate to this than at home. So I like the Nats team total under. Sue me.
Nats first 5 money line. I don't really give a crap what this kid did in the minors and stuff. These lefty Nats bats are pretty damn good. Yeah, we'll just see where we're at. I'm a Braves hater. We'll see where we're at after 5. We'll see.
Thanks for the pick, Square Stevens. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next one. Marlins at White Sox. Sticking with the pick I gave out last night. Marlins first 5 money line plus 110. That's where it was last night. If you take the bullpens out of it and just talk about the first 5s, where do the White Sox have the advantage where they should be favored here? Because I must be missing it. Perez is better than Cease. The Marlins lineup against righties is 7th in the last 2 weeks, like 9th in the last 30 days. The White Sox is bottom 3 or 4 in both. I think Miami has in the first 5, Miami has the pitching advantage and the batting advantage. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems too easy, but I've seen a couple of those cash the last few days, and I'm like, dude, why not just bet what you think? Why are you taking this public Pete shit too much into account? I mean, the line continues to move down on the Marlins. Most books have the Miami Marlins money line right now at plus 105 after being plus 120. I like the spot. Yuri Perez on the road. I'm a bit scared about, not going to lie, but I'm not scared of these White Sox bats. I think he could get them whiffing away. And then on the other side, Dylan Cease. I mean, what the hell happened? He's just not good. He's just not nearly as good as he was last year. His K percentage has dipped 3 straight seasons. His BB percentage has risen 3 straight seasons. The ERA is up there. I just think that we're getting a lot of value on this Marlins team right now, especially with the way those bats are performing. The main reason for not backing the Marlins pretty much every time we fade them is because their bats suck. Well, now their bats are hitting. Now they get to face a bullpen from the White Sox, who, while great, used every arm in their bullpen except one yesterday. I think they could get some runs late. I think they could get the Cease early. So at the price, I'm going to take a chance here.
Yeah, same exact things, you guys. Miami money line. If it's a trap, so be it. But I'm going to take them at plus money. They're scoring runs like crazy. I understand that was at home, but I mean the White Sox are in an obvious fade spot after playing 2 in New York, traveling. The bullpen's taxed. The Miami bullpen's been actually a little bit better as far as FIP wise. It's just really hard for me. I mean, Yuri Perez's one start that was bad was against the Rockies in Coors. I mean, that's okay. That's going to happen for a rookie. So if it's a trap, so be it. But I'm all over the fish today.
On top of that, if who's that guy in the outfield for them? I think Hampson. If Hampson doesn't drop a ball that's directly in his mitt, he has a much better outing at Coors, and he probably has 5 straight quality starts.
That was crazy.
Thank you for reminding me about that. One of the hotter hitters on the planet. I like his total bases right now. Jesus Sanchez over 1.5 total bases at plus 130 for the fish.
All right, there's a total base prop. Yeah, that game, the dude was tracking down the fly ball, hit him directly in his glove, dropped it, and then when he went to pick it up, ate shit. It was like the ultimate embarrassing moment. I'm pretty sure I faded Perez in that spot, though, so it was good for me. Still hilarious either way. Let's move on to the next one. A's at Milwaukee. This was a pass for me last night. It's still a pass for me now. There's no chance. I wasn't down to back Milwaukee at minus 200, let alone minus 250. No chance. Pass for me.
I wouldn't take Milwaukee at minus 140 here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about a check real quick, I just want to make sure, is Luis Medina the primary pitcher? He is. I'll do it. I'll take a stab with Oakland through the first 5. I like what I saw from their bats the last 2 games. They rocked Mitch Keller, who obviously has been one of the best pitchers in baseball, even better at home. And then while Roansy Contreras isn't good, they rocked his ass into a different century. I mean, Buddy has never had a start that bad in his entire life. And now Adrian Hauser's being priced at minus 240. I'm sorry, but get the fuck out of here. He's just not that dude. He's not that dude. And if the A's bats are back, which, let me remind you, when they're on. They're streaky, and they could be as cold as day, but when they are hot, they are hot. And I just think that this provides too much value. I'm looking for the price right now. But if they're going to hit like they were the last 2 games, and we have a lefty opening the game against the Brewers for 1 or 2 innings like they plan on doing, and then having Medina come in to face the lineup for 1 and 1/3 orders, I'll take the A's through the first 5 at plus 188.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It'd be A's or pass. A couple people asked me about this. I don't know why everybody loves Milwaukee today so much. I just don't see it. If I had to play it, gun to my head, it would be Oakland team total over 3.5 at minus 108 on FanDuel. I think the bats are either going to keep on hitting or they're going to be dead. So if they're hitting, Beaver's going to cash. If they're not, they're not. I mean, it's going to be, at 175, it's well worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's too good of it.
All right, next game. Reds at Cardinals. Come on now. You already know. You guys know where I'm going with this. Reds first 5 money line plus 155. Reds full game money line plus 155. I don't know if the lines are still there, if they've moved. They were still there this morning, but I haven't checked in the last couple hours. If I'm getting trapped into the hugest public dog trap, so be it. The Reds, I mean, I'm not going to let one game against Clayton Kershaw distract me from what the Reds have been doing for 2 weeks. I mean, look at their numbers in the last 30 days against left-handed pitching here. They're batting .321 as a team in the last 30 days. That's best in baseball. They're top 5 in slugging percentage, OPS, and WRC plus against lefties. This is a top 5 lineup against lefties in the last 30 days. Jordan Montgomery, you really trust him? Because shit, man, I don't. He's been terrible at home in St. Louis. He's been a little bit better on the road, but he's not on the road. He's at home. I don't see any reason I don't see any numbers that point towards Montgomery blanking the Reds here. The Reds are going to score on him. And the other side is Ben Lively. Yeah, maybe I'm sure his numbers will regress at some point, but he's having a great season. Ben Lively, I don't even know how many starts he has, but he's got a 101 whip on the season. This guy is pitching great. Cardinals bats have not scared me this whole season. I'm not going to let them scare me now. This big price, got to go Cincinnati. I know it's a super public dog, which usually lose, but I cannot even glance at St. Louis here.
Yeah, I just went to go check what the Reds' first 5 team total is, and now I'm going to pass on this game. It's only at 1.5, juiced at -125. What the fuck is that about? That is straight up suspect. I'm good. I'm good. I don't know what that line is about. Maybe I'm an idiot for passing up on free money, but I don't really see the book set lines like that with the Reds team that's been scoring runs like they have for zero reason. So I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds pick here is square as all hell. The sharp side is to be on St. Louis here. I just can't get there.
Yeah, I don't care either. I'm the same boat as Kyle. Reds first 5, Reds full game. You can take all that stuff away. I don't really like the spot for St. Louis either. In their last 10 games, they played 2 home games. So essentially they came home from a road trip, they played 2 home games, and then they went back out onto a road trip, and now they came back home. Not a really good spot. I just don't like that spot for them. This Reds team is playing with house money right now. I don't really care that it's public. I've seen Publix dogs cash in the last couple of weeks. So it's Reds or pass for me. There's no way in hell I can't bet them.
Points bet, it's -115 for the first 5 over 1.5. I haven't seen them all for 1.5 once this season. They always.
What's the money line at now? What's the money line at now?
It's decreasing. It's at +145, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
All right. Looks like the odds makers really like an under there, by the way. If the money line, if the Reds total is dropping, but the money line is moving towards the Reds, it means they're thinking less and less runs. So Padres at Rockies. This is a pass for me. The Padres. I said it on YouTube last night. Their last 8 games, it's like 10 runs, 1 run, 9 runs, 1 run, 6 runs, 1 run, 9 runs, 1 run. What Padres is going to show up? I don't know. And then in Coors Field, add in the fact that they're playing in the most unpredictable ballpark. No way.
Yeah, I was thinking a Rockies team total over of sorts, but they failed to do so 3 straight games against the Giants. Those bats look relatively dead as of late. I know Yu Darvish has sucked on the road as of late, but he has pitched pretty well at Coors throughout his career. So just not a spot I'm looking to fade the Rockies at that huge plus price. I know Austin Gomber stinks. I get it. But if I had to lean one way, I'd go with the trend. The Padres win 1 game by 55 runs. They lose the next game. I would go with the Rockies or pass.
You guys want to know, did you know that the Rockies are 15-3 the last 18 times they've played the Padres at Coors Field? And every single one of those 18 games, they were the underdog?
So Padres money line.
Padres -1.5.
What? Are you being serious?
Yeah, Padres -1.5 at -125 for a full unit. So be it if they screw me, but Austin Gomber's been terrible with a 6.6 ERA.
Wait, hold on. Before you go further, did you just say that? Maybe I misheard you. You said the Padres are 15-3?
No, the Rockies.
So you're fading that trend, 15-3, and you're taking the 3.
I respect the sharpness. This is next level.
That is fucking ballsy, man.
Austin Gomber, 6.99 ERA, 7.2 expected ERA. That ERA bumps up to 8 at home. Padres have a day off. And then, oh, by the way, take a look at the Rockies bullpen. Every single person in that bullpen's 30 pitches plus the last 3 days. It is all bad. Padres coming in off a day off. They have one of the better bullpens in the league. They're all rested. Padres get it done tonight.
That is ballsy. He opens up with a trend that points to a clear-cut Rockies bet, then takes a hard 180 and lays the run and a half. All right.
I had to put it out there.
I mean, that is cool.
Good info for the show. Dude, I wish the Padres would just be consistent. I'd love to bet.
Did anyone look at, because I passed on the game, so I didn't even dig into it. Did anyone look at Yu Darvish career starts in Coors Field, just out of curiosity?
I mentioned it earlier. We're just not listening to each other now. I mean, this is the level of abuse that I face at this company.
I never listen to you because you spew out a lot of bullshit.
His last start, he had one start last year, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs, struck out 8. The last in 2021, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs.
So it's only 2 career starts in Coors?
He's got 6.
I don't know about his career, but that in the last couple of years.
Okay. Well, I mean, he was with Texas, so I figured.
He has 4 as a Padres at Coors, and 3 of them were good. One of them was bad.
Okay. All right, next game, Mariners at Angels. Another dude. I'm so square today. The line drop is terrifying, but oh my god, I don't even want to now. I like the Angels. But the line is dropped from -130 to -117. This is so square. With Ohtani on the mound, everyone's betting the Angels, and it still drops. If you are the type of person that likes placing sharp bets, which I usually am, take Seattle here. But there's just too much to overcome in this one. I mean, first of all, Ohtani owns the Mariners. 7 career starts against Seattle. He's 5-0 with a 1.63 ERA and a 0.93 WHIP. He owns the team. The Mariners, as a collective lineup, they have 83 career plate appearances against Ohtani, 495 OPS, 179 average, and a 28% strikeout rate. I mean, not to mention the Mariners bats have been ice cold. There's just everything points to the Angels here. Everything. If I saw this line movement, I'd be like, okay, how can I get to Seattle? That's what I'd be thinking. Like, how could I get there? I couldn't find anything. Angels money line.
Yeah, it's either Angels or pass for me. I'm not going to personally play it, but I mean, everything points to the Angels, as Kyle said. Ohtani's great history against the Mariners. Luis Castillo, he pitched well against the Angels twice since last year, but one of those was at home, which was this season. And you look at his road splits, and it's just night and day. Castillo's been much more vulnerable on the road. So I don't know. It's really tough for me. The Angels' bats are better. The Angels' bullpen is slightly performing better, considering the Mariners have been one of the worst in the league over the last 2 weeks. I think Ohtani at home is a better pitcher than Castillo on the road. But I respect the books. They're trying to trap that Angels money, and I'm good, so I will pass.
Yeah, it's Seattle or pass for me. I haven't bet it yet. I wanted plus money, and I don't know if I can give it out at plus money, but I can't bet the Angels like that. Just for the same exact reasons they all said. It's public. It makes all sense. I mean, if it's so easy, you might as well pair the Angels money line and under 9 or under 10, and I guarantee it's still plus money. So if it's so easy, so just seems too easy for me. So it's a pass.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely. It's not the most public bet on the board, but it certainly feels like the most square with that line movement. When we did this last night, I was expecting to wake up to see this line at around -140. Instead, it moved the other way. It doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, if you look at the pie chart, some sharp action did come in on Seattle. So, I mean, like, you could be like, hey, they're just reacting to the action. Because if you look at 7 a.m. this morning to now, there's more action in on Seattle, but that's razor thin, man. It's razor thin.
This situation also happened last year. Castillo went to Los Angeles, faced Ohtani at home. Ohtani dealt, but the Mariners went crazy in the later innings and won the game. So maybe that happens again.
Yeah, the Mariners scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th to win that game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And these two teams over the last 2 years, like literally 50-50, like 10-9 Seattle, 11-8 Seattle.
Not in the Ohtani games.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying that if you wanted to make if you're a sharp bettor and you wanted to make a case for Seattle, you can make a case that they've seen Ohtani just as many times as any other team in the league, if not more. So if there's one team, I mean, they have. I know they haven't hit well against him. I'm just saying.
Have they ever beaten him? Are they 0-7?
I don't know.
0-7.
He's never recorded a loss against them, but he has. The Angels have lost twice in his 7 starts against the Mariners,
Okay.
and both were.
And they were both at home.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to. Someone said this game's kind of lame. Like what? It's a division rivalry game with 2 aces on the mound. What are you looking for exactly?
Also, now that I'm looking back at that, just really quickly, the other loss, I talked about how they scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th. The other Ohtani loss is 4 runs in the top of the 8th for the Mariners to win.
So it's 2 horseshit losses. Got it.
Exactly. Bullpen blowups.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, to the guy who just said Angels bullpen trash. Yes, go look at the Seattle bullpen.
What?
Go look at the Seattle bullpens. Yeah, the Angels bullpen numbers recently aren't that good. Go look at the Seattle bullpen numbers, though.
I'm sorry. I got to push back on that. That Angels bullpen is a lot better than expected. A much better than expected. Carlos Estevez might be an all-star. I mean, a 1.32 ERA with a 35% or 31% K percentage. Davinsky, Webb. Yeah, you're crazy. That Angels bullpen is nails right now.
And that new kid Doyle, that's his name, right? The one who's coming in.
He's like throwing 104.
Joyce.
I'm an idiot. Joyce, dude. He looks fantastic thus far. Every time Rob Freeman posts him, it's like porn.
And they got another kid coming as well, too. So
yeah, the Angels bullpen numbers in the last 14 days aren't great, but they're certainly better than Seattle. Seattle's 29th, only ahead of Washington. Anyway, let's move on to the last game. And let me introduce you to a little Cubbies. Last night, this is the game I'm switching. Last night, I said I was leading Giants. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I am on the Cubs for sure. Now, when I recorded that last night, the Giants game was still on. The bullpen situation for the Giants is a serious one. Let me scroll down. The Giants have tonight no Tyler Rogers, no Taylor Rogers, and no Doval. I believe, maybe with the exception of Brebbia, no, I would say those are the 3 most important arms in the Giants bullpen, all unavailable. So the Giants bullpen has the edge over the Cubs. Maybe not tonight, missing their 3 best arms. And if you take the Giants bullpen edge out, I mean, we're looking at Marcus Stroman against Discofani, who's in his last 3 or 4 starts has got an ERA over 6. Discofani's not pitching well right now. I know his numbers, 3.97 ERA. It looks good, but hold on, I have it written down rather than just estimate. Here we go. Even a larger sample size. Check this out. So you see Discofani's numbers on the screen. 3.97 ERA. In his last 6 starts, though, 6, he's 1-4 with a 6.12 ERA. So he's been struggling for a while now, and Stroman might be the hottest starting pitcher in baseball. I mean, I don't think that's a stretch. In his last 4 starts, he's got an 0.93 ERA and an 0.69 WHIP. 0.69. Stroman's been.
And then name the teams.
Was it against bad teams?
No, good teams.
No, it's against good teams, bro. My boy's dealing.
Padres,
Rays, Mets, Phillies, Twins. I mean, good teams that can hit the ball.
Yeah, so Stroman's putting up record numbers, Cy Young numbers against good lineups right now. And then without the Giants bullpen arms, without those 3 guys, I'm on the Cubbies.
Yeah, I mean, Stroman continues to be one of the most undervalued aces in baseball this season. This guy's been unreal. I was told 2 days ago that Michael Wacha is the top 4 pitcher in baseball. I firmly fucking disagree. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Talk about recency bias. But Marcus Stroman, you can make a case that Stroman has been a top 4 pitcher in baseball this season. That's how consistent and how good he has been this season. And the last 4 starts, as you were saying, this shit's silly. 0.93 ERA, 178 WOBA, 0.69 WHIP. I mean, I know the Giants are solid against righties, but so are most of the teams he just faced and mowed down. Discofani, the last 6 starts, as you said, bad. And the Cubs bats, they're putrid. They're just as putrid as Discofani's been. But I've noticed that they're getting at least 2 or 3 runs early off of some of these good righties, such as like Eflin and guys like that. If they could just give us 2 or 3 here, and 3 would be a lot. So 2. Give me 2 here with Stroman pitching the way he is right now. And I just love the situation in the late innings. Yeah, the Cubs bullpen, not great, but the high leverage arms are rested. And as you said, no Tyler Rogers, no Trevor Rogers, no Doval. I mean, without those three arms, the Giants bullpen is not a very talented
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I just think at the plus price, you talked me onto it. I'll take the Cubbies here. As disgusting as it is to back those bats, I'll do it. I'll give them one more chance.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. All over the Cubs at plus 100. You could even make an argument that Scott Alexander, another middle reliever, he's went 2 of the last 3 days. He might not even be available for the Giants. They might just have them rest this one out. But yeah, Stroman's a bet on pitcher for me. I faded him his last start, and it absolutely bit me in the ass against the, guess who, Padres. But yeah, Rockies just, and then also just, you look at the Giants' last 3 games, and they have 3 wins over the Rockies, which is fine. They kicked the shit out of them the first game. The last 2 games, they were getting killed until the late innings. Yesterday, they got really lucky on the 9th. I think the day before that, it was the 8th. So the San Francisco bats really aren't impressing me. So you add on the fact that they're coming home from Coors, and all those bullpen arms are available for Chicago, and Stroman the way he is. Yeah, it's all Chicago or nothing for me.
Yeah, 100% agree. I forgot to mention that. You got the Giants coming off a series in Coors Field with no day off. So definitely another fade spot. It's
and
just,
they weren't even scoring runs in Coors.
No, not until they got to the Rockies bullpen late in a couple of those games. It's almost insane to even consider backing the Cubs against a right-handed starter. But when you have Stroman on the mound, the Giants have no bullpen. DeSclafani's struggling. Giants bats are coming out of Coors. It's like the Red Sea has parted for a Cubs bet against a righty starter, because I wouldn't even consider it 9 times out of 10. But I'm on the Cubs. All right, that's the last game. So before we do community parlay, do you guys have anything to dish out?
I can read off a couple of total base names I have. You don't have to type them out, but if people are listening, they can get them or they can follow me.
You're muted.
I aspire to be as good as Toast with the total bases prop, so take notes. This guy's a beat.
This one is rather a trap or free money. Marcus Semien over 1.5 total bases at plus 140 on DK. One of the hottest hitters on the planet against Glass now. Are you kidding me? I'm not afraid of that. So I'll take that. Freddie Freeman over 1.5 at plus 110. Jesus Sanchez over 1.5 at plus 130. And Josh Naylor over 1.5 at plus 110. Those are all the guys on my list today.
All right. And it's time for community parlay. Throw your favorite legs, your favorite parlay legs, 1 per person, by the way. If you put like 7 in there, I'm only counting the first one. So 1 leg per person. Someone put like 8 legs in there. Like, what the hell? This isn't like your parlay. It's the community parlay. Hey, here, guys, I got the community parlay today. Here it is. Right here.
I am the community.
All right, let's wait for some legs. Oh, my God, I'm so excited to watch baseball tonight. There's so much on it. We got the NBA final. Oh, my God, I forgot to post the NBA VIP ticket. It's sitting there completed, and I didn't click post. Sorry, it'll be posted right at. We still got over 3 hours till game time, so if it gets like to an hour and a half before game time, people start getting pissed. But 3 hours, people aren't pissed.
I hope the Heat win, just so it's like a quick series. I want to see like a game, at least a game 6 or something.
Marlins money line, Rangers money line, Dodgers money line, D-Bucks money line. How's that look?
Ooh, that's sexy.
I like
those
it.
3. Take the Diamondbacks.
I like the Diamondbacks to win.
Up.
I like the D-backs to win too, though.
Yeah, but no one likes you. So.
All right, 1 sec. I just need to take the hit legs out of here that I made for the ticket earlier. I'm sorry.
That's going to be juicy.
Plus 1526. Talk about a pure juicer.
Let's do it. Let's do it. A pure juicer. Talk about a pure juicer.
I actually might throw like a quarter unit on that bad boy because I'm on like all those teams except for the Diamondbacks.
I'm going to bet it right now because I don't want to. Let me head over. See, you know what I hate about parlays is you can't line shop. You have no way of knowing which is going to. Someone should invent an odds comparison tool for parlays.
I'm sure you don't think like Odds Jam or one of those things could do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll call up Tony Gunk and I'll speak to him about it. I don't know.
Tony Gunk. We should ask Matt Modi the next time he's on. He would know.
Yeah, the Jedi.
All right. All right. So I'm going to place this parlay and I'll share it to Twitter to prove to you guys I'm actually betting it. Everyone have a great Friday night. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for the day show. I don't know if Prop Beaver's going to make it because usually we work late on Fridays and he just needs his beauty sleep. He goes home and needs to sleep. He just doesn't have much ambition. So we'll see. I don't know who's going to be with me. That's 7 a.m. Toast time, so maybe Toast can wake up. We'll have a live show at 11 a.m. I just don't know who's going to be on it yet. How about that? Everyone have a good night. Let's go Nuggets. We'll talk to you soon.